So you guys probably know all those apps. I don't gotta mention them because I don't want to get sued. But the whole idea is if you don't have the money to buy something right now, you can literally buy it and then just pay later in weekly or bi-weekly installments. So it makes things a lot more convenient and also a lot more affordable. In this video, I'm gonna tell you, is it a scam or is it not a scam? Does it help you build wealth? Does it help you with your money? And what does it do to you mentally? And by the way, I cannot legally call this a scam because there's nothing really going on that's actually fraudulent. But for the most part, when I think about a scam, I kind of think about it as, is someone else getting the short end of the stick? It's like when I always heard this story, I don't know if it's real, but I always heard that when the Europeans came over to Dominican Republic, and I'm from Dominican Republic, they gave them like mirrors and we gave them like gold, which is absolutely crazy. Is that fraudulent? The answer is no. We did that willingly. But obviously, it is a scam, okay? Because somebody else is getting finessed. That's the whole idea. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is basically, I do something called a scam test. And my scam test is very simple. Whenever I want to find out if a company is doing something that is not in my best interest, I basically ask this one question. How does this company make money? That's it. How do they make money? And if the answer is, well, they make money by providing value to people, I'm like, well, that's not a scam. You might not agree with what they're doing, but it is value. But if they make money by taking advantage of customer user habits and just like psychological things that a lot of us tend to have, and basically putting those people in a worse financial position to kind of trap them, the answer is, well, it's probably not a good deal. And here is what I mean. First of all, whenever you do the whole buy now, payday later, who is to benefit? Are you benefiting by actually using it? The answer is, in my opinion, I don't think so. First, I think the people that benefit are actually the retailers. So for example, I just went ahead and I bought me a Rogue Ally X. If you don't know what this is, it's basically like a little gaming console that you can basically use like portable or whatever. This thing right here, believe it or not, costs $900. You guys already know I did not pay that much for it. By the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly what I paid for it, okay? But the idea is, if I can't afford this and I go to Best Buy and I see it there, I'm like, wow, I wish I could afford it. But the truth is, I can't. But I can afford to pay $225 bi-weekly or weekly from my paycheck. So I go ahead and I buy with the whole buy now, pay later loans or whatever you want to call them. And who benefits? Okay, well, Best Buy benefits because I just got a sale. And two, whatever app or company I actually use also benefits because they just got a customer to actually lend them money to, okay? That's the whole idea. Now, how do they make money? Well, they make money on interest and fees and all those things. Now, I learned something a long time ago from a guy called Ty Lopez when I was all into that sales and marketing type of things. I learned that the easier you make a decision, well, the more likely the person is to take it. So when you say no fees, no late fees, easy to use, no credit checks, it just makes it a lot more easier for you to subscribe, for you to sign up, and for you to just take an impulsive decision and go ahead and basically buy a $900 item and forfeit a bunch of money from your paycheck every single week or bi-weekly. Number two is, guess what? Whenever people use these apps or services, they tend to spend between 10 to 50% more at retailers. And the answer is pretty obvious. If all you have inside of your wallet, this is my wallet by the way, it's not a Ridge wallet. I wish I had one of those, but this is just like a normal one. It's kind of falling apart, but it's a good wallet. But if all you had was basically, let's see how much money I have here. I have about maybe like $80. Well, about $82, right? So if all you have is $82 and you walk into Best Buy, which is one of my favorite stores, that's all you got. that's all you're gonna be able to buy, right? But if you have access to one of those loan companies, the answer is, well, now you have access to $300 or $1,000. Well, now you're more likely to buy a bunch of stuff in the store. So the retailer benefits, and whenever you can't pay that stuff off as fast as possible, the answer is, well, now they're gonna benefit off the interest they're actually gonna charge you. The third thing is within the scam test is going to be you can have literally multiple accounts. So you can basically sign up for multiple of those apps, and now all of a sudden you owe a Rogue Ally X over here. You owe some sneakers over there. You owe a purse over there. You owe this over there. And before you know it, your paycheck is going to zero whenever you get paid. And it's because of all of these things you basically bought when you didn't have the money to buy it in the first place. So based on this criteria of how they make money and who they benefit, in my opinion, I would basically call that a scam. Again, nothing fraudulent going on. It's just a technical term, and I don't want to get sued. It's just my opinion, of course. Now, number two, and the second thing I ask myself whenever I'm looking into products like this is basically, well, how exactly does this affect me? And the answer is, well, you guys may not know this, but I'm actually very good at spending money. I think it's one of the best things I can possibly do. If I have money, I can spend it, no problem. And I think most of us have that issue. And I'm also an impulsive buyer. So does this help me with that? The answer is absolutely not. Number one is, if you are an impulsive buyer, you cannot and should not have one of these services on, because if you want something and you don't have the money to buy it, well, automatically having a lack of funds is going to stop you from actually buying that thing, and having that time to save up money might show you that, hey, I don't really need that thing. I can't tell you how many times I wanted something and I just sat down for 3 days and said, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to think about it. And after the 3 days was over, I'm like, hey, I actually don't need it. I don't need it, okay? So I don't think this actually benefits you as far as helping you make impulsive decisions. Number two, whenever you buy something and you buy it with cash and you can actually afford it, well, whether you like that thing or you end up not liking it, you don't really feel bad about owning it because it's yours, okay? So I have this little device here. I use it almost like every day now, honestly. But the answer is I don't feel bad about it because I paid cash for it. It's mine. But imagine though, okay? I paid $900 for this. I'm paying $225 every single week or bi-weekly for the next few months. Every time I get paid and I have to take that money out my check, I'm going to be thinking about this thing. Was it worth it? Is it benefiting me? Okay. The answer is a lot of the times, whenever you buy things you can't afford with money that's actually not yours, it becomes a lot more stressful to even own that item in the first place. So instead of feeling joy and kind of saying like, hey, I own that thing, it's so awesome, you feel a lot of stress. I see that a lot with like people that buy cars. They're like, yeah, I have this car, but every single month having to make that $500 to $700 car payment, they just lose the joy of owning that car. That's why I say it's better just to save and wait and get what you can afford in the moment. Number three, though, is fake affordability. When you're using these loan companies and these type of loans, for the most part, you kind of think you can afford something, but the truth is you can't afford something. I think there's a saying out there by Jay-Z or whoever that says if you can't afford to buy something twice or three times in cash, you can't afford it. I wouldn't fully agree with that statement. If you can afford to pay for something in cash and it's not going to basically exterminate you financially, the answer is you can afford it. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. But the answer is when you think you can afford payments, you're not actually being able to afford the item. So it creates fake affordability and you end up buying a lot more things than you could buy in the first place, which again benefits the company and benefits the retailer. It does not benefit us, at all. That's the way I see it. Now, number three, how does it affect us in the long term? You know, buying things now and then paying them later with all these apps and all this stuff that's going on. The answer is, I just got some chickens. And I know this sounds kind of like ridiculous, like to just put that into the story, but I just got some chickens not too long ago. I have 8 chickens. And it's so impressive to me that just by picking one corn at a time, they get this whole bottom part of their chest basically just full of corn. And I kind of see that whole perspective as far as when it comes to getting rich also. You don't get rich by getting a whole bunch of money at once, you know, via the lottery or an inheritance. Unlikely to happen to us, honestly. But, you know, the same thing happens when you're going to be poor. You don't get poor all of a sudden. You get poor one thing at a time. You sign up for this, you sign up for that, you have this debt and that debt, and before you know it, when you get paid, you have no money to yourself. All the money is going to the lenders, to the bills, and all the things that you actually have to cover and pay. And that's exactly what I see happening using these services long term. So you got to pay rent. That's like $1,000, $2,000. You got to pay for your food. You got to pay for your utilities. You got to pay for your car. And now on top of that, you got to pay your credit card. And now on top of that, well, now you have to pay all these buy now, pay later loans that you actually have with all these different separate companies that don't actually interact together, which is absolutely insane. So overall, would I use this? The answer is no. But I can respect some things, and I kind of want to reveal these things to you. Number one, when it comes to marketing, I see what these companies do, and they do it very well. They make the sale very easy. And I used to watch a lot of Ty Lopez back in the day. And if you can remove all resistance, like saying no fees, easy to use, just sign up, it makes you more likely to just use the product. So they do that very, very well. Number two is retailers around us, they use something called manufactured scarcity. I never, it's kind of ridiculous to me, but imagine if you have a digital product, a picture that you basically drew on Photoshop, and now you say, I only have 10 available. That is what is called, you know, manufacturer scarcity. By you thinking there is a limited amount or a limited time to actually get it, it makes you want to get it right then and there. So I say that all to say that if you don't have money to buy something and you feel like, if I don't buy it right now, I'm going to lose out on it, the answer is no. There will be another deal later. So don't really worry and don't really fret so much about it. Now, if you're wondering, Tommy, you promised me if I made it all the way to the end of the video, you would tell me how much you actually paid for this. The answer is, this goes for around $900. It's true. I don't use credit cards, as you guys know, and I don't use debt. So I paid a whopping $500. If I choose to sell it right now, I could probably sell it for $650 or like $700, honestly. If I want to wait a little longer, even more. But you find a lot of good deals whenever you aren't impulsively buying the first thing that actually comes across you. That's what I've learned. See you guys later. Peace. Subscribe to the channel.